name is Stacy, and I'll be reviewing this claim. Californians get tough on crime mentality as causing limitation and rehabilitation programs, as well as a dramatic increase in the prison population and its costs. Lack of rehabilitation programs have caused released inmates to be not prepared for integration into society, thus resulting in a high recidivism rate. My opponent's secondary claims are California's prison population has been increasing for over 2 decades, causing a greater amount of money to be spent on the prison system. The second is cut and lack of rehabilitation has caused prisoners not to be prepared for life on the outside, therefore ending up back in prison. And lastly, get tough on crime mentality has caused the enactment of longer prison sentences. At the end, I'm also going to be discrediting some sources that he used. Okay, first of all, I'm going to knock out the first supporting claim by saying that it begs the question. Begging the question is when the advocate restates the claim as support. The first part already in the supporting claim, the main claim is the same thing of the supporting claim. The first part of the main claim says California's get tough on crime mentality has caused a limitation and a dramatic increase in the prison population and its cost. And the supporting claim says the exact same thing. So all he does is reiterate his main claim. Next, the second supporting claim, which also begs the question, but I'm going to go deeper than that this time. And it's, once again, cut and lack of rehabilitation has caused prisoners not to be prepared for life on the outside, therefore ending up back inside. Well, when I researched one of his sources, it was CaliforniaWatch.org, and it seems impressive. It says that, where is it? A new report produced by the Berkeley Center for Criminal Justice found that almost half of California inmates did not participate in any rehab or work program during their time in prison, and some 23,000 inmates are on a waiting list to get into these programs. I thought this was really good, and I wasn't sure what to do, but then I researched on the website some more. It also says that in September 2009, a state auditor said that the correction system for accessing, processing, and tracking inmate educational data is extremely inadequate, and therefore it is unable to determine the success of its program in reducing the chance that inmates will return to prison once they are released. Also, and for the second supporting claim, one of his sources is KALWnews.org. The article used was written by Rena Palta, and all I could find out for as I researched her was that she was a producer. I couldn't find what her expertise was in. Okay, next. My opponent uses the 3 strike laws for his third supporting claim, seeing that this is applied to many nonviolent crimes. The examples used, which are all old cases by the way from the 90s, are people whose third crimes are nonviolent. This is true, but the fact remains that these people are repeat offenders, and the whole point of the 3 strikes law was to punish repeat offenders. Also, my opponent is correct when he said that there has been an increase of prison sentences, but there is a connection between the increased prison sentences and decreased crime rates. He points out that in 1990, California's population was estimated at around 30 million, but he does not point out the crime rates that go along with this. According to DisasterCenter.com, whose sources are the FBI and uniform crime rates have decreased. Crimes such as vehicle and larceny theft, burglary, aggravated assault, robbery, rape, and murder have all decreased. And I'll give the numbers for murder and rape since they're like the most heinous crimes. In 1998, California's population was approximately 30 million. By 2009, it was 36,961,664. Instead of the crime rate going up as there's more people, it's gone down. In 1990, there were approximately 3,553 murders in California. By 2009, that number was only 1,972. In 1990, there was 12,688 victims of rape. But by 2009, that number was 8,713. And now I'm just going to finish by discrediting more resources. One of his pieces of evidence says that research shows rehabilitation programs will cost taxpayers $150 million over the next 2 to 3 years. But when I went to search this research, all I could find, it wasn't backed up. I couldn't find who did it, when it was done, or how the research was gathered. And I also want to discredit the source CEIUCA.org, known as the California State Council. They are made up of over 700,000 members, which I thought was impressive. But when I researched who these members were, I found out that they were janitors, nurses, child care workers, school employees, mental health workers, nursing home workers, etc. These people are the type of people to be deciding, or these are the people who will choose to go on the website, and they're not the people credible to be discussing this. And lastly, one of the sources is from ehow.com. The article was by Elizabeth Thompson. There wasn't anything to deem her as a credible source. I couldn't find anything that said that she was credible. All that said that she was a professional writer. Who knows what that can mean? Thank you. And I'm sorry, I'm sick. I'm sorry.
All right, you list the claim, which was all very quite involved, and I think you need to simplify the position that you're going to take a little bit more. The secondary issues are labeled pretty clearly. Your challenge on the first 2 points basically is that they're begging the question. Of course, that means that there isn't any evidence to support those points, and I'm not sure that that's the claim that you really make. Is the first claim really the same as the main proposition? It might very well be, but is that secondary claim without any support for it? That I don't know based on the argument that you presented. There is a challenge on some of the assessment tools on the second point. I thought that was a legitimate challenge to the evidence that the advocate's using on that particular point. Otherwise, a lot of your challenges seem to be basically because the abstract or the vague nature of the evidence that the advocate's citing, that there's a problem with it. I don't know that the producer on a news segment is expected to be an authority. They are simply reporting the data that they've gotten. The union group that you criticize at the end, it makes it sound like they are, it's the janitors and all those people who collected the data. They're the ones who pay for the organization. It's the organization that in essence reaches this conclusion. So it feels like it's kind of hit or miss on the challenges on the sources. The three strikes argument was the clearest part of your argument, where you had a clear counterclaim trying to explain the impact of the law and the get tough impact that it's had on the amount of crime, and you've got some good statistics to back that up. What you need to do is kind of contrast that a little bit more with the evidence that the advocate presented on that particular point. I will point out that your voice drops out a little bit from now once in a while, and that you are kind of going quickly, which I understand, and like you said, you're not feeling well. Well, we have one more speaker, but I think we're going to, since it's already 10 to 7, we should probably stop here, and we'll pick that person. Jasmine, I'm sorry that we couldn't get to you. We'll hear you on Thursday. We were so close. If I'd been less verbose or all of you had talked faster, that would have been the difference.